You're Willie, I'm Neil.
Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Altadena Talks, episode 270. I'm one of your co-hosts, Brian Bacchus, but today I'm going to be in the background with the willy-nilly crew because it's Toni's day and it's Toni's show. She don't want no willy-nillies up in here, so bye. I'll see y'all later. Welcome to the show, Io.
I'm Jamal Smith, a.k.a. Nilly, so I'm out of here too. Peace out.
I really feel like I interrupted something.
Good morning, Io, and good morning, everyone. So let me just say this. You guys know how we started, which was Brian doing this as therapy over a year ago after the fires. And then Jamal, because he and Jamal are so close, have been friends since they were toddlers, since about 7 years old or around then. And then they kind of drugged me in a week later. And I say drug me, and they invited me to come speak on one show. Started out. And so we were just having a discussion because I'm launching my own podcast in March. And I did tell, them about it, or told Brian. And so today he said something and I said, no, my new podcast is going to be very structured. I have treatments that are being written. There will be no willy-nilly, just whatever, right? That is part of the beauty of Altadena Talks. We are willy-nilly. We started as willy-nilly. We do try to bring people on and say who we are, but we're free-flowing, free conversation. We're not super structured. Mine is going to be a lot more structured. So I did just say to them, no, mine is
going to be more like Sherry Shepherd. What's that other lady's name? Oprah.
And so, see how we do? We add to the stage, remove to the stage, whatever. But when I tell you, this would never happen without them. It started with them. They brought me in. We have this brotherly, sisterly relationship. I'm the older sister, but have two little pain in the butt brothers. That's kind of how we are. I love them dearly, like I do. I have two new brothers that I love, and I love to get on their nerves, and they really love to get on mine. Because
the lies.
The truth. So anywho, that's why you see willy-nilly crew in the house, because I literally said that. I said, no, it's not going to be willy-nilly to them. And so all today's show, trust me, they're going to put little comments and stuff like that in. But I want to welcome Io Wright to the show. Is Patty going to come on today, or
she can't make it?
Okay, no worries. I added her just in case, because I know sometimes when you and I text or have emailed, I have forgotten to add her, even though we have a group text and I, can email you both. But the reason I brought Io on today is because we met actually right after the fire last year. I inboxed Io because somebody was like, this dude Io is on Instagram. And I remember inboxing you like back in January last year or February, right after you started. And then we met at a meeting in, I want to say South Pasadena with after the fire or something. And then we saw each other again, I want to say at a meeting at PCC. And then we wound up being together at after the fire summit in Sonoma. And that's where we really got to know each other. We got to sit and have wine and just talk and really, really know each other. And that was so good. And I met Patty then because the house that you all lived in on Thurin, I believe, is the house my sister used to live in. Because I told you it's like the third or fourth one down on the west side of the street. And you were like, that's our house. And so there's a lot of connection, and we have stayed connected and talking ever since. And I really wanted to bring you in to talk about POSTFIRE, because you, like Brian, started this afterwards. You started your thing, which was POSTFIRE, but you were like blowing up on IG. I think you had 90,000 followers within a couple days or something around then. But you were giving
that before, but it went to 22 million views, which was the crazy part. Yeah.
Okay. And so you
I wish I
went,
got more followers out of it, but hey.
but views. Either way, it went viral, right? That's what they say. It went super viral or whatever. And it's important because you have always been focused on Altadena because that's where you all live. And it blew my mind that when I met Patty, she's a 2-time disaster survivor because her and her father lived in New Orleans. 3. Okay. She was in New Orleans for Hurricane Katrina. There was another one, I think, when she was younger or something.
Hurricane
and then
Sandy.
now, that's right, Hurricane Sandy. I forgot about that one. She did tell me that. And then now this. And so it's like, how in the world does this keep happening? Matter of fact, I'm gonna need Patty to leave California because apparently he's asked me to follow Patty. Apparently, Patty is the disaster, not whisperer. They like to follow her. So Patty, I'm gonna need you to get on out of here, girl, because we don't need any more. No, but she'll laugh at that one. But I wanted you to come on and really talk about what you all are doing with POSTFIRE because you do a lot of vetting, like I've done with different builders and stuff. You vet attorneys, you've created this platform that fire not just survivors, but I call them thrivers because everyone will begin to thrive again at some point, right? We don't want to just be known as survivors and, that little connotation or whatever. So I want you to talk about what you all have created, and we'll go from there. Because remember, I went on your site and I was like, I don't see no Black folks and I don't see this and I don't see that. And I got on your head and you were like, Toni, relax. No, wait, we have this. Because, I want it to be equal for everybody because Altadena is very diverse for everybody. And I want to see everybody engaged. And so that day I texted you or called you, you were like, wait. And I'm going to put so-and-so in touch with you. And yes, we really do. And I was like, okay. And I was like, look, y'all, Toni, I think you called me Miss Altadena or something one day. You were like, oh my God, the stuff that you know. And I'm like, but dude, I keep telling you, I've been there since 1968. Like, this is my life. And that's the same with Jamal and Brian. They haven't been in Altadena since 68, but early 70s. This is life for us, right? Whether our families all still live there, or like Brian, he still lived there and got burned out. Like, this is what we know. This is our community. This is who and what we love. So you all have been living there for a few years now, and it has become your community and what you know and what you love. So I want you to talk exactly about what you're doing, what POSTFIRE is, and then we'll even have Jamal pull POSTFIRE up online, and you can kind of walk us through some of that as well.
For sure. Well, first of all, thank you. And it's so nice to see you because I haven't seen you since the After the Fire conference and it sucks. And I'm dying to see you.
September. Yeah, because we've both been crazy busy.
Everything I'm about to tell you is going to explain why I haven't seen you since September. But yeah, we lived on Thurin, just below Loma Alta. That was a house that I bought. I haven't been there as long as, a fraction of people have been there since 2019, but, or 2020. And I remodeled that house to the studs with my hands. That was the first house. I grew up in a bad situation where having a home was always the dream. Having a home where I didn't have to rent it out to cover half of the mortgage or anything like that. And that was the first house I ever had where I got to just make it mine. And I knew where every tile was, every screw was. It was that was my place. And Patty moved in with me 5 months before the fires. So yeah, she went through Hurricane Katrina. We both went through Hurricane Sandy in New York. She's a New Orleanian, born and raised, and that brings a special breed of person. And I'm from New York City, and so it was hard to find a part of LA that felt like home. And then we found Altadena, and we were like, oh, this is where our people are. This is our culture. This is this is where we belong. Also, we're both garden people and outdoor people and nature people, dog people. So it was just I don't know.
You get all that
very
now.
Segregated. Yeah, and also for me, I don't, especially with everything that's going on in the world, living in a place that is built on the legacy of, I don't want to call it diversity. I want to call it what it should be. It's a world, community, a place that is actually representative of the people that live on this planet.
That's
that
right.
was where we wanted to be and felt like actual home. And we were really excited to have been there I was there for 5 years, I guess, 4 years. So after the fires, we were really blown away by the fact that there was no system, right? Like our house burned to the ground and our entire town burned to the ground. Another town burned to the ground where all the rich people were, and still nothing emerged to tell anybody what to do. It was just like, here you go, good luck. And like, you spend your whole life in the United States working towards property ownership. That's the thing. They're like, this is how intergenerational wealth is built. This is how you get your family out of poverty. This is how you generate stability and safety. And oh, by the way, if it burns to the ground, tough luck. There's, you're on your own.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Figure it out. And the systems that you have to interact with, FEMA, SBA, the banking system, it's built, the insurance system especially, is built on you fighting back. And that just like is an inherently racist and classist system, because it's like when it's predicated on the government saying no and you getting any help depends on you having the time, money, wherewithal, or experience of being told no by the government and that being okay to push back on, that's an inherently racist system. And so living in Altadena, what we just started to see really quickly was like, if people didn't get access to the hacks, the tips, the best guidance from professionals who've done this before, people were starting to fall off and people were starting to lose track of how to get home. So we decided, we were like, Patty comes from like a tech building world. She's always built systems to close the gaps for people on things that they should have access to. And I come from information delivery. I was a public speaker for 7 years, I've hosted podcasts, I've done things on TV, I'm a writer. So I started putting together how we present the information, and she started building the platform that we could present it in. And so we built this thing that literally guides you through every single step of recovery with expert guidance from the day of a disaster until you're back home for free. And everything in it is verified. It's written with licensed professionals or the best people in the industry. And it takes you through step by step by step, literally like get somewhere safe, create a separate email account, everything from finances to architecture, all the way through. And it also only gives you what's relevant to your circumstances. So you would come in and you'd be like, I'm Toni Raines. And it's like, hi, Toni. And then it only gives you what's relevant to you. It does more stuff. It connects you with free things. We don't like asking people to wait on lines to get things that they need, stuff like that. But in a nutshell, that's what POSTFIRE is. So we quit our lives to change disaster recovery after these fires.
Whew. A lot of people.
And that's why you haven't seen me since September.
Yeah. And a lot of people, lives have changed, right? I never imagined being a podcast host. Yet here I am a year later with these gentlemen, right? There are some things that God gave me about 6 or so years ago that now make sense, because that's how I'm launching my new one. All the stuff he gave me is what I'm supposed to be doing. Not that I'm leaving Altadena Talks. I'm not. I'm here for sure Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we'll continue. And then I also pop in on other days of the week or come. And that one is going to be a little different because we're going to, tape on one day in the studio, things like that. But my experience over this last year helps me to be able to do that one that I'm launching, right? Helps me to be able to understand about writing treatments and making sure that I have prep work and questions prior to and things like that, because what I've done here. So I needed this experience for the last year in order to be doing that, regardless if I call it willy-nilly or not. And the only reason I say that again is because this one is a lot less structured, right? And we're a little bit more free-flowing. My two brothers, Brian and Jamal, are the willy-nilly crew that are definitely in the house. But had I not done this, because Brian was seeing all the information I was putting on my Facebook, and he was like, hey, can you come on one day? To me, that was all in the plan, right? Had I not been asked to do this and gotten this experience, I would not be ready to even think about launching the one that I'm supposed to be doing. Because yes, people have done podcasts, but I don't know if I was lackadaisical, like, I don't want to, have to do the research and all this. Well, all this stuff now that I'm doing, I created a song recently. I created all my, with AI and different stuff and apps, because, I work in tech and I love the technical stuff too. I've created an image. And then after my image, like in Canva, I created my logo and my image, but then I put it up in AI and made it have movement and all kinds of things. And so yesterday, I totally forgot I have Clipchamp. And I put everything in Clipchamp and created... It's like people that have Apple Garage or Studio or whatever, and you could do all your editing. So my computer is a laptop that comes with all the Microsoft apps. So Clipchamp is basically where I can do any editing. So now that image I created now has full movement and now song, because the song I created is now part of, the background for the image. And so I just been like, oh yeah, because I love this stuff, right? A year and a half, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have even thought about that, right? So the fact that like we're on here speaking today is truly because our lives have changed forever, and everybody's doing different stuff. So I'm super glad that obviously we met, but I want to walk through POSTFIRE a little bit. Is Jamal available? Jamal, are you available? I don't see him. Brian, are you available willy-nilly to put that? Yes? Okay. He's going to pull up and share POSTFIRE. And if anybody wants the link, I'll put it here as well. And it is, hi, Carolyn, or Carlin, I'm sorry. Carlin, thanks for joining. But the postfire.org app is what we're going to talk about, which is what Io just explained why he created it. And you're right, Io, a year later, people still don't have all the information that they need in one single source. People are still trying to figure out if they should take this compensation plan, if they should apply for it, if they need to get an attorney, who. And I know you have a lot of that information on POSTFIRE that's vetted and amazing stuff. So Brian is
I'll throw up the link. So if you go to so we created this like custom portal that walks you through. You have to get verified and join that. That's in beta right now. So our first 808 pre-verified people just got let into that this morning, which we're very excited about. Yeah. And then
so they should go there first, right?
Yes, this is like, if you sign up here, then we can start getting you all the things and getting you into programs and getting you free stuff and getting you guidance. If you go to this other link, which is postfire.org/guidance, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Brian.
Yeah, he's literally walking directly through it, which is so awesome, right? Because people can see it's not that challenging. That even maybe someone middle-aged, elderly or whatever could go in, put this, and then they would get access to the portal, I don't know, a day or two later or however long once you guys receive that, correct?
Yeah, we'll get in touch with them via email like fairly immediately and start walking them through how to do it. But Brian, if you go up to the top of the screen where it says for survivors, and then you go to guidance, this is a library of guides that have been expert verified on every topic involved in recovery. Some of these are, if you go to rebuilding, for example, click right on rebuilding. This takes you through all the different things involved in rebuilding separately from the portal. So if you join, then we'll take you through in a chronological timeline. You can mark done, you can track your progress, you can keep track of your whole recovery in one place. If you don't want to join, you're not a joiner, which by the way, the whole thing is free for survivors at all times. If you don't like signing up for stuff, that's totally fine. You can see all of these guides here that walk you through all the like annoying nuts and bolts of the building process. But the important thing about these is every single one is designed to protect you from something that you might not know you need protection from. So we are one of the only organizations that like puts this kind of information out that isn't like all of our information is only from the perspective of what's best for survivors. So we will walk you through how to do a builder contract and what to protect yourself
that down there.
We will walk you through.
Can you, Brian, do builder contract 101 right there in the middle? Yeah, only because he just said we walk you through how to do a builder contract. Okay, go ahead.
This is the wrong.
It's the wrong link.
Yeah, that's weird. Brian,
Okay.
will you go back and click any other one? Sorry about that. That's a strange. I'll tell the team.
No,
to
that's
fix
actually
that.
good because now you know, and you can tell
Yeah.
Patty or the team, hey, let's double check these links.
Yeah,
And
there
just
you go.
make
How to
sure.
find a good contractor.
Okay, so the contractor is there to find a good contractor, but then that builder contract where you walk through just needs to be updated, but that's fine.
Yeah,
So
we'll fix that link.
yeah, start with
So-
referrals.
It walks you through everything that if you hired an expert to tell you how to find a good contractor, they'd be like, here are the things, here's how you check their license. Like a big issue that people are dealing with right now is that, for example, contractors are letting other unlicensed people operate under their license. I'm sure you know this because you love vetting things.
Crazy.
And then that
Right.
person is unlicensed building your house.
Yep.
And then what that creates is also liability for you with people who don't actually have workman's comp insurance on your property. These are just
That's
things
right.
you would never, ever think about unless you're in this situation. POSTFIRE calls those things out and walks you through not only like what to be aware of, but also what to do about them to protect yourself.
Yeah.
So
and that's so
it's
good
like
that you said that because I remember when my mom, USAA is their insurance. They've been phenomenal, right? Because we're veterans, me, my dad, whatever. But my mom said, hey, Toni, talk about this on your show. And I was like, okay, what? And she said, USAA told them, we are not going to continue your full coverage on your house because the structure is gone. The land, yes, but we are going to give you what's called builder's risk insurance. And she was like, okay, tell us what that is. And it's like $500 a year, maybe, right? If that, but it protects you from anybody going on your land, not just builders, but if somebody goes on there and says, oh, I fallen, I broke my ankle, and tries to sue you and take it. Nope, because they still have this insurance. You don't need to pay your whole policy insurance. We'll give you less. But literally, like USAA told them, we brought it on the show and some people were like, our insurance has never said a thing to us about it, right? Mm-hmm. So some insurance companies are great. Others don't want to tell you anything that will protect you. So the fact that you all have this all in like a one-stop shop and people can click on the guides, and see what's what, that's phenomenal. Io, I love this.
Thanks. I mean, it's also the important thing to know is that every single thing in here doesn't come from us. Like, yes, I wrote every single one of these guides, but it's based on expert guidance and then triple fact check with licensed professionals, organizations, or experts working in the field. So it's always from the experts, not from us.
Yeah, but what
we were trying to do was create, like, if you could afford the best experts, what would they give you, and then give it away for free.
That's dope. Because unless you have a really good contractor that's willing to tell you all this about the permit process, the build process, all of that will break this all down. But even sifting through builders and contractors to find a good one, when first you can have this knowledge and then start interviewing, like you said, at least 3. And then you could say, okay, well, I already know this should be saying A, B, C, and D to me, but they didn't. But this one did, but this one didn't, right? This is so important because here we are a year later and people still have questions about this every day.
Yep. I know. We're now finally, like I said this morning, we invited our first. So building an entire platform, as you know, it's, as a lot of other people don't, takes so much time and work, and it's so much money that we've also we're an unfunded nonprofit. So we're,
right.
You could fill in the blanks on what that means yourself, but it's been a painful year financially. However, the platform now has its first, we had to do it in batches, right? So we can't let thousands of people in at the same time, even though there's 4,000 plus people in our network from both Palisades and Altadena. We had to batten out like the 800 first pre-verified people, and we're going to let them in first to kick the tires. We're opening the doors in the next couple of weeks so that anybody who's dealing with this stuff can come in. But we also, each survivor type gets their own action plan. So what that means is if you're a total loss person, you're insured, you have regular insurance, not fair plan, you are a homeowner and you want to rebuild, that's one journey. If you want to sell instead of rebuild, that's a different journey. If you are a renter instead of a homeowner, that's a different journey. So it's a choose your own adventure with I think it ends up being like 33 different journeys, and each one is like 200,000 words. Right now, the total loss insured homeowner who's rebuilding journey is up. And then we're doing total loss insured homeowner who's selling, then total loss insured homeowner with fair play. And we're rolling them out one at a time. And again, 200,000 words in each one that is not generated by a robot. It's generated by a human being and fact checked with 5 other human beings. We're rolling it out one by one. But it's also like, this is a tool that can exist so that the next fire community doesn't have to go through this. And then it will be adapted to any other type of disaster in any place. So it's going to be a disaster recovery reform tool for the whole nation.
Well, that's awesome, because even when we were up in Sonoma, we had the mayor of Lahaina there, right? And he told us, like, just this week, our 1,500th home was cleared. The debris of it, right? And we were like, dang, we're fully cleared already, right? Then we met people from the Paradise Fire and heard a lady talk about her homeowner's insurance after she rebuilt was going to be $10,000 a year. But then when she got that fortified home certification, it went back down to what it was before, the $1,200 a year or whatever. So I came on here saying, you guys, we got to make sure your builder exceeds everything and gets you a fortified home cert, because to jump from 10 racks a year back down to your regular, I think we all did like this when she said that. Like, what? You know, when she said 10,000 a year, and we know that this is what these insurance companies try to do. So if we can put the resources out there, and in almost a one-stop shop guide place, whatever, right? In an app like yours, where people can go and get the resources and the knowledge, that's what's super important. And whether it's Sierra Madre, Altadena, Pasadena, Palisades, Malibu, Hollywood Hills, Paradise, Santa Rosa, everywhere, right? It's so important. And we know that we are a state that's prone to wildfires, like others are prone to hurricanes and tornadoes. But wildfires have to happen in order for new growth to regenerate. Just like the sequoias and up north, we hear people in this governmental administration talking about, we don't know what we're doing. Yeah, we have forestry management because fires have to happen in order for the forestry to grow and to regenerate, and every however many years do what they do, right? The fires happen, then it reseeds and you get the stuff again. That does not mean anybody ever wants their town or city to be gone. And unfortunately, we have experienced that. But if you just don't know and never get the information correctly from anyone, then you're kind of messed up. So the fact that you have, for the past year, been doing this, been focused and taking your time, and I mean, you guys vet for real and take your time. And we've had some phone calls like, hey, what about this person? And you're like, nope, or you're like, Toni, I heard, and I'm like, nope, blah, 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 right? And we go back and forth, and then you go and be like, cool, let me go verify or go vet that or whatever, right? And I'll drop a text to you and Patty, or you like, hey, check this person out, or this is going on over here. And you're like, cool, thank you. It takes a resource, and it takes all of us. But then you all, because of Patty's background with tech and building this platform out, is huge for anyone that's ever going to deal with this, which is disaster, even if it's not a fire. Because again, there are hurricanes, there are floods, there are tornadoes. A natural disaster happens, and if you don't have guidance and know what to do, you're lost. And a lot of people have become paralyzed by that, or because they've met with builders who turn around and say, yeah, I can build your house. It's going to cost, knowing that it'll be worth $1 million plus afterwards. They're going to tell you it's going to cost that to rebuild. And I remember when we did the town hall, the builders town hall in March last year, we had a builder that said, oh, we have 200 homes in the pipeline. They build like big, housing, pre-planned communities. And everybody was excited because of the information they were hearing. But then they said, oh, but it's going to take a minimum of 2 years to get you in the pipeline and get built. And it's like, you don't tell people that just lost everything, it's going to take at least 2 years. And it does not. We have 8 people that are home. We have others that will be home this year, quite a few. And if you drive around Altadena, there's tons of homes that are up already or going up, right? Foundations and everything. And so it's great that those people are that far along. There are some that are going to take a little bit longer or whatever. But whatever someone's pace is, whatever their situation is, whatever their choice is, including if they choose to sell or move on or whatever, I have people, one family that's like cousins to me that lost their mom in the fire. She did not make it out. And they were calling her and saying, Mama, get out, Mama, get out. But because Arlene lived over there for so long, since the 60s, like my parents, we've never had fires come down below a certain part of the mountain. And she was like, I'll be fine, and stayed in her bed. And we believed the smoke, killed her first or whatever, but we didn't make it out. And as we know, 19 total, including her, didn't make it out in Altadena. And so then you have that situation, right? This property that now belongs to the children, which it can go through because of a trust and Prop 19 and everything, but now they have to rebuild. And when they rebuild, they have to decide, are we going to keep it or are we going to sell it and split it? It's a son and a daughter, because they no longer have the Prop 13 that applies to them because their mother passed in the fire, unless there's an exemption. And so all these different scenarios, every one of these 5,821, I believe, is the actual total number. In Altadena, we just round it up and say 6,000 structures lost, but every single, or homes, and then the other 3,000 are, other businesses and stuff, but every single one of them is a different situation. And so the fact that they can sign up for your platform, and based on what they put in it, it will recognize this is your situation, which is not the same as your neighbor or your cousin or whomever, right? And these are some resources available to you. That's phenomenal, Ayo.
I mean, I want to set thank you. I want to set expectations. We are the first, basically, like, we funded all of this with our insurance money, right? So what we've been able to do in the last year is build it's essentially like, imagine it's like the broadest view. And then as we get more time to write and more time to research, we can get more and more and more and more specific with what those journeys are. So right now it's the big broad categories. Are you a total loss, renter, homeowner, rebuilding, whatever. And as we get further and have more time and have more funds, we'll be able to generate the, like, did you have a title issue? Did you have a trust? Did you have all of those things? But what we do right now is, if there is a provider, there's a staggering statistic, Toni, that we found out after the fires, was that historically, well, there's 2 that I think are really relevant here. One is after disaster. Well, there's the boring one is only a third of disaster survivors even apply for all the aid that's available to them because they don't know that it exists. There was a presidential order about how confusing disaster recovery is, and it didn't change. So that's what we're trying to address by putting also the entities who can help you. How many spreadsheets do we all get after the fires with lists of people who can help you? You don't know what the name means. You don't know what they actually do. You don't know if they have any funding. You don't know if their website is from 1998. You just shut down in a trauma state. So in the post-fire system, when something is relevant to what you're dealing with at that moment, because it takes you through in chronological order, then we'll put that provider in front of you and be like, hey, did you know you're dealing with architecture right now? Did you know that the AIA offers a free hour with an architect for you? You're dealing with financial stuff. Did you know that there's, Operation Hope or Project Porchlight who deal with disaster finances for free and it can help you with this? So that's like one of the major ways that Post-Fire helps with more specific stuff. We point you out to the people who are excellent at that thing, who can help you with that hyper specific stuff. Yeah. The other statistic that is very relevant here is that after disaster, historically and always, Black and brown people's wealth has gone down by an average of $29,000, and white people's net worth has gone up by an average of $127,000.
Because Black people and brown people are not prepared, they are more likely to sell, and then others buy. It's gentrified. And that's how their wealth goes up. And then the generational wealth factor, because that home generationally would have been passed down and been a form of that wealth, is now gone. Okay, I just wanted to put that in there so people watching who may not quite understand why, we give the context. But go ahead.
I mean, I think it has to do, I don't know that I would also say that it's all just a lack of preparation. I think, sure, it's that, but I don't know that white people are also necessarily prepared. I wouldn't give them that credit. I would say that it's more to do with like the systemic issues at play.
Wait, the reason I say that is because, as you, I'm sure, have learned, the disproportionate people, the more disproportionate people, black and brown, like you said, in Altadena specifically, who purchased, there were lots of them, and now it has been made law because people that advocated for it, who got that generational wealth of that home passed down, the deed was still in grandma or great grandma's name. So when I say that, I'm talking about being prepared. Some also thought it was passed down, but the house is paid for, so we don't need insurance on it. So when I say prepared, I'm talking about that. I literally 5 years ago was talking to my dad and was like, y'all need to put this house in a trust. And he was like, well, what do you mean? Right? Talked to him. My mom was in the kitchen cooking breakfast or something. He was like, Jackie. And she came in there. He was like, Tonette said, because he calls me Tonette. Tonette said, we need to put this house in a trust. He was like, we're getting started on it tomorrow. It was a Sunday. I think I went after church. So lunch. They did. Their house now is in a trust, right? The land and all of that, because I knew the importance of it needing to be. So when I say prepared, a lot of people are learning now, you got to put stuff in a trust. You shouldn't own anything, your house, your car, whatever, put in the name of the family trust and find out what your deed is. We talked about this maybe a month ago in Altadena, as you know, in Pasadena, because of redlining, there are still deeds that have the restricted covenant on them that say do not sell to colored. So I explained on the show about that, told people the new rule the law that went into effect in 22, and how people in LA County can now, because some people have had to get new deeds because it burned in the fire, and they see that on their deed, right? And so now you can actually go and have that language, that racist language, removed from your deed, and the county will do it and send you a new deed. So that's what I'm talking about when I say prepared. Did you know about that?
I'm writing it down right now. I'm going to work with you on a guide to it so we can put that out also.
Okay, and I will later look up the episode that we talked about it on, and I'll text you the link to it, because there's a lot of information, the law, we put the links in there, so you can put that guide too, because yes, there are still in Altadena and Pasadena people that have found when they went over and said, oh, I need a new deed, mine burned in the fire. Now they're like, my deed says don't sell to color. They had no idea, right? And from 60 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever. And so that's the kind of important stuff, Io, that people have to know. And we do here on this platform, and you do with POSTFIRE and this platform and application. So super important. And I will always, any information that I need to give you, I will give you so you can create a guide and put it there, because we have to continue doing all this together. So that's what I meant when I said prepared. Not that, because typically white people are more prepared, meaning they are taught, you have a trust, you do this, you do this, you do. I remember when I worked for some Jewish folks, and he said, yeah, you know how you guys buy Nikes and Game Boys or PS5s and this and that? I said, what do you mean you guys? And he said, well, and he wasn't being racist. He said, but typically when it's Christmas time or birthdays, more African Americans, Latinos, different other cultures will buy their kids that, because that's the in thing, right? The Jordans and all that. I said, okay. Because I was looking at him side-eyed, like, you better explain this stuff. And he said, we buy our children stock in those companies instead. He said, from the time they're born, and that's when I started doing that for my kids. He said, you go buy that pair of Jordans, or whoever goes and buys a $200-$300 pair of Jordans, we go buy shares of stock in Nike, and our kids, by the time they're 18, have a good portfolio. He said, if you're buying PS5s, that's Sony. So now everybody I know, when they have kids, I'll be like, don't go buying all that foolishness. Go buy some stock and create their portfolio from babies. So when they're 18, they may be millionaires, right? But he told me, he said, this is how Jewish people move. And this is how we're taught. So when I say more prepared, that's what I'm talking about. And as we gain knowledge, we have to share it so that the next generation coming up, look, my daughter went to Pasadena High School, my oldest one. She told me all the Armenians went there, right? She had a ton of Armenian friends. They lived in Little Armenia. She said, how do each of you have a brand new Benz, BMW, da-da-da-da-da? And they said, oh, we do Next Up. She said, what is that? And it's a system. She said, they told her at tax time, everybody files their taxes. It all goes in a pot. They've built mega mansions, whatever, and several families, 2 or 3 families will live together. But all the money that comes back from taxes goes in a pot, and whoever's next up, okay, it's your turn to get your car. What car do you want? And they go buy it cash. So all these in high school seniors and stuff with all these cars, that's how she said the Armenians told them they did. So as we in our culture get this knowledge from people, we need to be like, hey, let's do that Next Up or something, right? Instead of being, I got to be better than you, crabs in a barrel, because slavery took our culture and all of that from us. And so the fact is, that is true. It happened. And how do we recover from it? And it is, okay, you got a home. Let's make sure you have everything correct and some preparedness, that you do have insurance, that you check it and update it so it's current standards, that you do have it in a trust, that you do, rather than, I got to be better than you and I got to get this and that. Those are the kind of things when I say prepared that I'm talking about. Not that white folks are just more prepared, but what we have found after this fire, how do we change that, right?
The note that I'm writing down right now is that, because a lot of what we're getting into now as we build POSTFIRE and start looking to build it as a national tool. One is, how do we get people, like we move from a protective place. Information, as you and I, like part of why we love each other is because we share a deep held belief that information is protection, and we love to protect our people. So I don't believe the current system involves people swoop in and they're like, well, we have disaster case managers, but we only have a few and they only help the people who are in the most dire circumstances. And that leaves out everybody who has done a pretty good job, but wasn't prepared for this because nobody could have been. Exactly. And that system leaves a lot of gaps because it's dependent on one person giving you everything. I believe you teach a man to fish, etc. You know, like you will have a much better outcome if you give people the opportunity to make informed decisions for themselves. So our post-disaster perspective is, how do we give people the information so that they can protect themselves and they can make the right decisions that are right for them, and they don't have to be handheld by one person who may not be their vibe. They may never get that person. They may not qualify, whatever. I believe in people's own agency and intelligence to like, oh, I didn't know that. Now I do. I will make better decisions. Some people need more handholding. That's totally fine too. I have one quick question, because you said post-disaster, and I know the platform is POSTFIRE. Are you all thinking later on changing it to post-disaster because it will help with all disasters? We're going to have to rebrand, which is a painful thing. But because that's getting all the URLs, everything changed. But it's all good. I just thought that, like, wait a minute. They are making sure people know for everything. So, okay, cool. Go on. I'm sorry. the next obvious progression of that, as you talk to people who work in the space on a bigger level, is disaster preparedness, which is not entirely our world, but I like to think about how all these things tentacle together. Disaster preparedness, the note that I just wrote was, disaster preparedness is financial and insurance preparedness. Yeah. And so literacy. If we really want to, and literacy,
financial
if we want to
literacy,
educate,
all of that. Yes,
ma'am. I'm grateful for this insight, because I know this, but you just connected some big dots for me around ways that POSTFIRE, our specific brand of education, can contribute to disaster preparedness in other areas by making sure that people are financially set up for, as you called, prepared. I thought you meant like prepared for disaster, and I was like, listen, these white people were not prepared for this either.
No, I know they weren't either, but no, I'm talking in regular life, right? We don't think about it. Look, I have a house. Can I tell you every single thing that's in this house? No. But what I've learned is
can?
I need to get a spreadsheet, and everything I buy, I need to put on I need to start having a full log of my entire everything, right? Inventory of everything. Because should something happen, and it could at any day, a tornado could come and hit it, a fire could come burn it down, whatever, and I have to go through this. Would I be prepared? Absolutely not. So what none of us knew, this now makes us all go, oh shoot, even I need to do that. My house isn't fireproof. It's not, I do have stucco, and I do have a new roof that's the better, not the regular shingles, but I still got some work to do. Do I have a zero zone? No, because I got plants, and I got, I have a brick wall on one side, but I got wood on the other side. So things like that make you go, oh shoot, I need to start making those investments for myself to help protect me as best I can, right? Because we don't know.
What you just said is the distillation of what post-fire is. There are literally 50,000 things like that if you had to keep track of it all on your own, the human brain can't. You lose track of all of it. And there's 40,000, 50,000 total loss survivors in Los Angeles right now who are all going through the same thing. Post-fire is designed to capture all of those learnings and put them in a place where it's easy to understand, language you can digest, good graphic design so that you even want to interact with it, and then capture it and prepare it so that other people can learn from those learnings, and the next disaster doesn't have to learn all of that from scratch. Imagine if in January, right when this had happened, we had this resource to go to, and all those questions where everybody was swirling, they had nowhere to go, no one to ask. I blew up on Instagram. I shouldn't have blown up on Instagram. I didn't know how to navigate disaster, but I was doing research. That shouldn't have happened. We should have had this system. Next time this happens, which it will, unfortunately, there will be a place for people to go in their darkest moment when they don't know what to do, and they just need to be taught to fish.
Yeah. That's good. That's real good. They need to be taught to fish. Yep. I think this comment might have been popped up, but if not, I just want you to see what Marcus said. Very well thought out and considerate of the fact that every survivor's journey and recovery is different and unique to each individual. And that's what I like about post-fire, is that you guys recognize that, right? Because you have learned, you through this in Sandy Hook, I believe, not Sandy Hook, Hurricane Sandy. But then Patty from Katrina, Sandy, and now Eaton. I wonder if she's like, damn, where can I live where something ain't gonna happen and follow me? Every
meeting, Toni, we're like, well, and so our experience is and then the person kind of goes, and where are you moving next?
Exactly. That's why I say, y'all get out, go. You need to be in that movie, get out. But because literally, like, I know I would be like, God, am I cursed? What is going on? Why everywhere I live is there some crazy disaster? But the fact is, disasters can happen anywhere, anytime, to anyone, right? And we can be on vacation. People that were over in Thailand probably didn't think like, that big tsunami would come and they'd be on the beach and be gone forever. And literally, things can happen at any time, and we just don't know. So as prepared as we can be, I think is important, right? And if that means that there is a resource like this to help with that, then so be it, if that's what people are able to utilize moving forward. So super important about that. I know we're at 10:50, and you and I could talk for a long time, so I don't want to hold you well beyond. But if there are any main takeaways or anything that you want people to focus on and understand and know, other than postfire.org is where they should go, and click on survivors, look at guidance, experts Q&A, build options, grants and loans, the rebuild calculator. But even more than that, I think you put the link in as well that they can, they click on guidance and then it pulls that pop-up up? Or
at the bottom of the, on the homepage itself, you just go to postfire.org. That's how you sign up. And that's the simplest way to do it. It's just on postfire.org. The main takeaway I want people to know is that you don't have to navigate recovery on your own. Postfire is created by 2 total loss survivors who believe in equity and who believe in the best information being democratized, because wisdom shouldn't belong to those who can afford it. And we are here to protect our people no matter where you come from and no matter who you are. So POSTFIRE has
So
your
what
back.
I do want to do, Brian, if you could bring the POSTFIRE website back up, and I want you to go, please, to About Us, Who Are We? Because I think it's important people do see who the team is and what they are doing. And then it does say, like, on that About Us page, the first thing it says is we are living it, right? POSTFIRE was created by, like you just said, 2 Eaton total loss survivors in response to lived frustrations with the existing disaster recovery system. And then it talks about who you partner with and your small group of big thinkers. But as you go down, you will see Patty Ratterman, co-founder, CEO of POSTFIRE, Eaton total loss survivor, and Hurricanes Katrina and Sandy affected. Hurricane Sandy affected, and Eaton total loss. Allie Evans, she's partnership, activations, and story. She's an LA resident. So it has everybody all the way down through Mars, but James Bailey, Jessica Jolly Miles, and then Mars Lovejoy. And
there's a couple missing. We're a small team right now,
but you can read all their bios, because I think, who did you connect me with that day? Mars, maybe, or somebody. And then it talks about the advisors, because if you scroll down more, there are other people on here, like Wendy Crick, NAACP of Altadena, total loss survivor. So these are not just people that are willy-nilly that you found that are not part of the willy-nilly crew, but these are people and you guys, cool beans, willy-nilly, and shenanigans are probably 3 of my favorite sayings, and I throw them in at different times, appropriate or not. But these advisors are not just willy-nilly random people, right? They are neighborhood captains, they are total loss survivors, people that have either been through it or are walking through it right now, like Jane Lawton Moore and Dawn Fanning, right? Blair, right? All these people that are also walking through it with you all. And that's important because, and then Jennifer Gray, right? She's CEO of After the Fires. She's a great resource who we've all met. And so this is well thought out. You have good advisors. I know you have regular meetings. You have a good team. And sometimes it's okay to be small. You could be small and mighty. You don't have to have no big, huge team, because sometimes more of a team, more mess. But you can be small and mighty. So, you know, if you have 2 more, there's 9 people right now. That's okay. Until it gets to the point where you don't have the capacity and you have to hire people and stuff like that, right? But I think it's really important to know, especially for Eden Fire survivors, these are Eden Fire survivors that are doing this, right? And that's really amazing. Kudos to you all. We have talked about it, but we hadn't done any walkthroughs like this yet. I've looked at it on my own, but this is amazing stuff. I'm super excited about it. I'm gonna have you come back on, and this time it's not gonna take us 5 months, Ayo.
I know. We need to just go have a coffee and like hang out too.
I know we need to have lunch or something anyway and catch up. Because Ayo's been so crazy busy, and then and then he reached out to me a couple weeks ago because he was like, the article, and I'm like, yeah, and you know, I can't talk about that right now, but he was like, are you okay, type thing. And so I was like, yeah, brother, I'm dealing with it, right? But the fact is, we love Altadena, but this is for disasters, period. Our focus and what threw us into this life right now was Altadena, or the Eden Fire. But it's so much bigger than that. And it's for so many more, because whether you're in Palisades, Altadena, Pasadena, Sierra Madre, Malibu, wherever, we want everybody that can come home to come home, that chooses to come home, rebuild and come home. Something at the very beginning of the show, before, when we were in the green room, that we talked about, and a lot of people may see it in the news today, but apparently there's been an executive order written from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. We're not going to get crazy into it, but if people see it, I don't want people to panic because they think that this executive order changes everything for us. We know that It's very easy to throw something out to distract from other things that are going on. We have things going on in Minnesota. We have some files we weren't released. And so if I just keep throwing out chaos and signing my scribble name to stuff like it's some big deal, then it is. Don't be moved or alarmed by the executive order that was signed today that says he is taking over Los Angeles County for rebuilding. There you go. For rebuilding, accelerating the rebuild in wildfire devastated Los Angeles. We know that this person does not like California, and we don't like him either. He doesn't like our governor, and we do. He doesn't like Mayor Bass, and she is an African-American woman, and there's been a lot of talk against her. And so if I can scribble something out and say, I'm going to take this over. Dude, we're a whole sovereign state, and our state is going to do what our state is going to do. I can't wait to hear the what do they call it? Clapback from Governor Newsom, because his office stays on this dude's head. And I know it's coming.
I mean, they call him a clueless idiot right here in this article in USA Today.
They stay on this dude's head. Right. Right. And he is. Because you don't get to come and do what you want in a state, and you don't get to come and say, I'm going to take it over and we're going to ignore your laws and your rules and all that. We have very specific things that have to happen for us to rebuild and to do the permitting process, and we are doing a good job at it. We're only a year in.
So, if I may, there's something I want to say to survivors here, which is there are so many perspectives about why we have not built faster and why we are not more built. I'll tell you this. At the last time I checked, Altadena, or the Eden Fire zone, was at 43%, and that was like a couple of weeks ago, of permits that have been submitted.
I'm pulling up the dashboard.
Yeah, pull up the dashboard. Like, the statistics are absolutely far and away record-breaking levels of permit submittals for any mega fire in history.
That's right.
So do not, for any reason, believe that we are not doing an incredible job. That is one thing. Right. And the other thing I want to say is, survivors, people who are going through this, people who are living adjacent to people who are going through this, we know that the real reason that things are slow is because insurance is a nightmare to navigate. We have not been supported. And by the way, this federal government opted not to do soil testing. So many folks wisely have been waiting to hear about the results of widespread soil testing that research and philanthropy had to step in and do because the government did not. So those results, as a matter of fact, you should know this, on Sunday, we're hosting a Q&A with the three most robust soil testing studies in all of Los Angeles, and they're presenting their findings. Those are the only actual sources of information that we should be trusting, not headlines about whether or not we can be rebuilding. But listen to me, if you are going through this fire and you are a homeowner who lost your home and your home is currently a lot of dirt like mine is, I know what it is to be worried that maybe you're investing your entire life savings in rebuilding something that's going to be worthless because it's going to be sitting on toxic soil because some people decided not to test it. Do not think that there's anything wrong with making that decision slowly and wisely, because then you should. So this whole nonsense
your builder should be testing. And when they get permits to go and take out the dirt and bring in new dirt and compact it, make sure you have a good builder, because they would test and they would do that. They should be working on your remediation. However, as of today, for the Eaton, I can talk about all unincorporated areas, but for Eaton, 2,784 applications received, 2,445 zoning reviews cleared, 1967.
You said 2,700 how many?
2,784. Matter of fact, I'll just share it. Hold on. Jamal's not.
That is more than half.
More than half.
That is more than half of the homes that we lost in this fire. I don't think people understand, because we don't have a perspective on other fires. Having permits submitted for more than half of the homes we lost when we are one of the most destructive mega fires in the history of the world. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, these are the numbers.
We are
This
incredible.
is the dashboard that people can go to every day. 2,784 on the rebuild process of applications received. 2,445 zoning reviews cleared. There are 1,967 parcels with full building plans received. So again, we can't blame the county because people have to submit, right? So this is how many applications are received, parcel plans received, building plans approved by the county are 1,565. This is Eden Fire, again, not Palisades, but us in Eden Fire zone. And then building permits issued to date are 1,287. And 638 rebuilds in construction and 8 that are home already. So we are a year and 2 weeks out.
That is unheard of levels. That is unheard of incredible.
Exactly. When we were in Sonoma in September, again, the mayor of Lahaina was there. He said the 1,500th home, the 1,500th and last home had been cleared a week before. Cleared 2 years after the fire. We're a year after the fire and 8 people are already home. 638 permits are in rebuild, our homes are in rebuild, and 12, almost 1,300 permits have been issued. So for somebody to say, I'm going to sign an executive order, I'm going to go and do this. No, you're not. Knock it off. And then if we go Palisades,
do whatever you want, sign whatever you want, but
period. So look at Palisades. Big difference. They only have 210 applications received. They have 176 cleared reviews, zoning reviews, 129 parcels with full building plans received, 56 approved. Mind you, they're in LA County, but their permitting process goes through the city of LA because Palisades is part of the city of LA. Their permits issued, 42. Again, if we go to us, 1,287 to 42. We got them by 1,243 permits. And then rebuilds in construction, 14. And constructions completed, 0. So we Eden Fire people are kicking rocks and kicking much butt. And so don't believe the hype. That headline that came out today that this dotard, puerile dotard, is going to come and take over our rebuilds and do what he wants, because that is not the case. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing.
We are doing a great job. We
really are. We really are.
And also, the one other thing I will say is if you are in a situation and you need to sell because that is right for you, you are, for whatever reason in that situation, you are not a traitor to Altadena, in my opinion. I've seen the ins and outs of so many people's situation at this point and the shame that people feel about needing to sell. My only encouragement would be contact Green Line Housing and see if there's a way that you can sell it so it goes to somebody that the community would want in the community and not to a property developer. But, if you can.
I agree with you. And we say it here all the time too, Io. People don't know anyone's situation and what is best for them. So for anyone to think for a moment they should judge, don't do it. Let people do what's best for them. Period. So that's where I'm at. That's where we're at. We're going to keep supporting Altadenians until every Altadenian that wants to come home comes home. Whether we do it structured or willy-nilly. That's such an inside thing now that we look immediately they put that. But with the love and the care that we continue to do it with, and super excited that you came on today to talk about everything you do with the love and the care that you all at POSTFIRE do as well. Thank you. Looking forward to bringing you back on in a few months or when you can. And then you and I, let's catch lunch or something soon. We won't do coffee because I don't drink coffee. Oh, was that from?
These are my notes on things, my insights. Thank you for my insights on things, homework that I need more guides to create.
Yep. And I will, whatever you need, just text me and I'll send you, but I will send you that link from when I talked about the restrictive covenants. So you can see, because I also put what that law is when it went into place in 22 and all of that, and give you a little bit of where you won't have to do as much research. I know you still will to verify, but I have some of it. So thanks so much again. Have a great day and we'll talk soon. Okay. Love you much.
Bye.
Talk soon.
Bye, Willie.
Bye. All right, let me add my brothers back to the stage, whether they're ready or not. Hi, Willie and Nilly. Brian, I know you're not frozen. Oh, you're on mute, both of you. Sorry.
I had to change my name to Mr. Willie.
And he's gonna be Nilly. Anywho,
Mr. Willie.
Make a song. I hope that was great information for people. It really, really is an amazing platform, and I hope that people now that they know of it, if they didn't before, take a look at it. Those guides, everything is free, but you can take a look at those guides and go through. He put in Mr. Nilly, Mr. Willie and Nilly, not what was the dude? Millie Vanilli? Not that, just Willie and Nilly.
No, more like Chili Willie. the little penguin that was on with the little hat.
So Marcus, before we started the show this morning, that came up because willy-nilly is something I say all the time. I say cool beans all the time. I say shenanigans all the time. And I'm launching my own podcast in March. And so Brian said something and Jamal was like, well, what is it going to be about or whatever? And he said, oh, it's going to be Medea something because I'm always cold and my house is on a crawl space underneath, not a regular foundation slab on the ground, right? There's crawl space, so it makes your house a little bit colder. So I always have like socks or a robe or something on. I have this wonderful love sack blanket that has pockets in the feet and it's electric. And so I'm sitting here with it on today. And Brian said, yeah, it's going to be Medea something, something. And I was like, whatever. No, it's not. It's going to be more structured and not as willy-nilly. So for those that, you know, we keep saying that about, that's what it was. And all four of us cracked up laughing in the background. And so they have changed their names today to Mr. Willie and Mr. Nilly. So, anywho.
Tony, why don't you tell us a little bit about what your show is going to be about?
No, I'll do that in February, right before we launch.
But you're talking about it right now. So
everybody's
going to keep asking you.
Yeah, and that's fine. And you'll know when.
Girl, I'm going to ask you every day. Girl, what's your podcast going to be about?
About minding my business and you not in it. No, I will announce that in about a week before. There will be a countdown, whatever, but I will announce the name of it and give a little bit more detail and talk about our first guest and things like that. However, thank you, Marcus. Great show. Yeah, IO is great and has learned a lot and has put it into this platform to people. And I'm super glad he finally came on today. We've been talking about him coming on since September. And I had to kind of threaten him and say, look, you know, I don't chase people. Either you're going to come on or you're not. And if you're not, oh, well. And he was like, I am, Tony, I am. So finally got him on today. And I'm really happy about that. What's the news going on, Mr. Willie, in the back? You watching the news or the weather?
Who, me?
Yeah, I see it under Mr. Willie below. Oh, well.
Oh, what happened to Jamal?
That, I don't know. He stepped away. Oh, that was from the article. And I just saw her doing
it. Yeah. I was going to play the video when it came up, but you guys weren't really interested in it. So I just didn't do it.
Well, I'm going to go on and pass it on over to Jamal for announcements because we're at an hour and 8 minutes. So I'm going to let him go on and do his minute and 8 seconds, right?
That'll be the quickest one ever.
So Jamal,
and hello and goodbye. Thank you.
Take it away.
All right, we're going to start with the fact that on the 31st, Saturday the 31st, that's going to be the last day that the Altadena Main Library is going to be open. They're actually on February 1st, they're going to be closed for renovation for about 14 to 18 months. There will be extended branch hours during the renovation at the Altadena Library at Loma Alta Park at 3330 North Lincoln Avenue. They'll be open Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and then Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5. And then the Bob Lucas Memorial Library, located at 2659 Lincoln Avenue. They're going to be open Monday through Thursday, 10 to 8, Friday and Saturday, 10 to 5, and then Sunday, 1 to 5. And every Monday and Tuesday, Project Passion, in conjunction with Harambe Ministries, has the Freedom Store, and it is by appointment only. And you actually get your appointment by scanning the QR code or going to tinyurl.com/Project Passion Freedom Store. And it is from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. or to 4 p.m. 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 1609 Navarro Street in Pasadena. And then today, from 7 to 8:30 p.m., there is an online virtual meeting. It's going to be with Christine Lenches Hinkle. She is a soil restoration specialist and environmental scientist. The topic of the discussion will be soil restoration alternatives. Here, she's going to also be talking about treatment methods for contaminated soils, associated costs and benefits, and biological treatment types. And this is actually, you can scan the QR code at the bottom, at the bottom of the screen, or you can go to the URL at the bottom. I'm not going to read that one. It's a little long, and so you can scan the QR code. And then SBA services have returned, and they're actually at the Collaboratory. This is actually at 540 West Woodbury Road, and they're there to assist with disaster loans. Services will be available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and residents are encouraged to take advantage of this in-person support. And tomorrow, as it is with every Wednesday, Juicy Little Fine Thrift Store is going to be providing the We Out Here Market.
We out here!
Again, from 12 to 3 at the world famous Fair Oaks Burger at 2560 North Fair Oaks Avenue in Altadena. It's going to be fresh produce and groceries, free smoothies, and much more. They also need donations and volunteers to kind of keep this going. So if you're able to do either of those, please help out. And if you'd like additional information, you can go to juicylittle.org. Also tomorrow, there is a free grocery pop-up market, and it's from 12 until supplies last at Lifeline Fellowship Christian Fellowship at 2556 North Lake Avenue in Altadena. They do ask that you bring your own bag, and there will be 200 free hot meals provided by El Patron Restaurant and sponsored by Support and Feed. Now, it says also Boots on the Ground special end of the month Wednesdays, which tomorrow will be the last Wednesday of the month. They'll be giving out bulk supplies like hygiene products, new clothing, shoes, dishware, diapers, wipes, and essential supplies, so you can come and stock up. And then also Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., Hollywood Food Coalition is going to have their latest community food distribution. It'll be at the main library parking lot, 600 East Mariposa Street in Altadena. It is while supplies last, and they do ask that you bring your own extra bags. And this is probably the last one because the library will be under construction, or at least at that location. And then every Wednesday, Laundry Truck LA actually is going to be at the Altadena Seventh-day Adventist Church at 2609 Lincoln Avenue, providing their services, and the drop-off times are 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So go ahead and bring your laundry and come back in a couple hours, and it will be washed, dried, and folded for you. Excuse me. Janelle Ketcher is going to provide a workshop where participants can learn about the therapeutic qualities of letter writing and how it can be a powerful tool for processing grief. It's actually going to be Thursday from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. at the main library community room, again at 600 East Mariposa Street in Altadena, and registration is required. And to do so, please scan the QR code on the screen. And then Altadena Revealed's latest monthly lecture series will be taking place on Friday, the 30th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Also at the Altadena Main Library, again, 600 East Mariposa Street. It's going to be interment craftsman lessons from Duntley Blackburn resident. This 7 o'clock, the doors are going to open, and then from 7:30 to 8:30 will be the lecture. Please come celebrate communities, architecture, diversity, heritage, and more. And you can scan the QR code to register. Sorry about that. There's a wrap party. It says, how many times have we made a vision board in January, then never look at it again until December? Well, there's going to be a wrapping January together where reflection meets real action and accountability actually sticks, building momentum month by month together so that when 2027 arrives, we are ready to step into it boldly and on purpose. This particular wrap party event is taking place on Saturday, the 31st from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Eaton Fire Collaboratory at 540 West Woodbury Road. Registration is required, and there is a QR code on the screen. Excuse me. Now, a wrap book is going to be required for attendance, and all participants must bring a Strong Home Network wrap book. The books will not be sold there. So if you don't have a Strong Home wrap book yet, you can actually go to stronghomenetwork.com to get your book. And you can also go to the to the URL link, short URL.at/S as in Sam, capital W, H, C as in cat, A to register. And there's fire support group at Stars Wellness Center every Sunday at 10 a.m. at 500 East Villa Street in Pasadena. If you have any questions, you can reach out to Whitney at Whitney V as in Victor at gostars.org. And then lastly, the official premiere of Beneath the Ashes, The Past Reimagined documentary film produced by Brandon D. Lamar and directed by Hara Gedalian will be showcased on Sunday, February 1st at Agbu Cultural Center at 2495 East Mountain Street in Pasadena. The doors are going to open at 4:30 and the screening will begin at 5 p.m. Please scan the QR code to get your free tickets and support this event. With that, I bring Brian and Toni back on the screen. This is Nelly signing out.
So, since you're doing your own podcast, I went on ahead and made you a little graphic to, welcome the show. Tell me what you think.
I know it's going to be something super stupid. Oh, look at this one. You ain't funny. Yep. Not at all. It's reading more like, okay, you on this podcast with us. We're not happy for you. We're haters.
No. It's not even like that. We're clowns, and that's what we do. Mm-hmm. Ain't got nothing to do with that. I even made a video. It's rendering right now.
What a ding dong.
Oh, my God. Where is this? Super show though, Toni.
Yeah, it was a great interview.
I was information.
That was
is amazing.
Yeah, I was on that site while y'all was in the background talking. Mm-hmm. I was like, "Oh, you got some new stuff here."
Yeah, and I think it's good. Like you saw, the way we talk and text each other. He would be like, but Toni, what about this or whatever? And I'll tell him. So he took notes, which is really good because he probably hadn't heard about the restrictive covenants either until right now. So I am going to look at that show that we talked about it recently and send him that link. But can you imagine you're now with a woman who has survived Katrina and Sandy. He survived Sandy. They come out here, they're together in this house he bought, and then Eaton happens.
Yeah, they're keeping the tradition going.
Man,
joining forces.
Y'all might
hands across America.
Get out. Yeah, no. That would be like, man, what is it with me and disasters? But the fact is, They now both have so much knowledge about disasters and the recovery piece and all of that. And for them to put it into practice and these guides and build a platform out of it shows their resiliency and obviously their love for community in Altadena and what they want to do to make sure not just Altadena comes back, but everyone. Super, super, super important. And I love that, what they're doing. So yeah, I'm glad that we finally got times where, he could come on. And I'm really glad he talked about the rebuilds and that I brought the dashboard up because, this dude, executive orders, he gonna come take over. We don't need you here. And we're doing very well. Maybe Palisades isn't. And if you want to say the city of LA is not doing their thing, but when you look at these numbers, we're doing what we're supposed to be. And when you look at people, like I had the guy on from, how come I can't even think of his name? And he gave out gift cards. He came to our event and gave out gift cards too. But when he came on and he talked about up there in Sonoma County in Santa Clara, the coffee town and all of that, what he is doing with thank you, hater. What he is doing with how much of them has been rebuilt or not, and in Paradise, how much has been rebuilt or not. We are really ahead of the curve. We're ahead of the curve for clearing it. Now, I will say this. I don't care for this individual who's in 1600. Everybody knows that by now. Most of us don't. But he did tell the Army Corps of Engineers, get this cleared out. And so we were cleared in 3 months, which the Army Corps originally said it's going to take about 18 months. So he did do a decent thing there by saying, get this cleared out and threw some money at it. So, but we have specific rules and regulations so that we don't have fires burn these homes down again that are in place, that CAL FIRE has put in place, that the counties and the cities have adopted. And I would think that anyone either watching or who's in this whole, am I going to rebuild or not? Like Io said, don't be moved by this headline from today. Continue on with your process. And yes, after every natural disaster that has happened, especially fires, the federal government and FEMA has also tested the soil. Here, they refused to test the soil and said, we're not throwing the money at that. And instead said, we'll take an extra 6 inches of dirt off. But they normally do the 12 or whatever they did additional. Even under that, some people have tested and still found that their soil is contaminated in parts of it or whatever.
I'm sure most people have.
Yeah. So your builder should be the one that is making sure your tests happen, or you can still, I believe, take your soil and drop it in the box at Grocery Outlet on Lake, USC, and Pepperdine, and someone else. I will get the information from Io on that call that he was talking about is happening Sunday afternoon, I believe, so that these 3 studies, they can come on and talk about it. Make sure that you're safe, and your builders should be bringing in dirt after they remove dirt and then compacting it and doing what needs to happen to rebuild. So thank you all for tuning in, and I'm glad that it was a great show. I'm glad Io was here, and I look forward to the show on Thursday of this week with Brandon Lamar, because he's going to bring it as well. He's going to bring everything that he is doing or advocating for and what's happening. He was in DC recently. I think they talked to Congress or something. But he's out there doing it as well. And so definitely looking forward to that show. And as long as we can keep bringing the information to you all, that's the most important thing for us.
Indubitably. Toni said it.
Indubitably. That goes with willy-nilly. Just the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
The LY.
Well, that looks like that's our show. I'm Mr. Willie.
I'm Mr. Nilly.
And from these folks. Look, Okay, so you have my dining table, my refrigerator, my island. Go back. Because that's where I actually was sitting when I took that photo.
Yeah, that's the real picture.
That's the real picture, right? And part of my grandfather's house.
Faded into the podcast.
Then I go to Medea's house. With
yeah, you sure do. And she over there telling you, now let me tell you a thing or two about how to make wet dressing.
That is so hilarious. And is that a Bible in front of them or a?
No, that's your book of ideas.
Book. Yeah, that's right. It's a book with a pen. But look at my hands.
Yeah, girl, like, you know, y'all grew up on a farm. You live in a rough life.
Manly hands.
You out there busting up the shiver roll,
no nails,
milking the cows and getting them chick eggs.
Those are some big old manly hands on me.
AI be throwing some crazy stuff.
It ain't perfect.
I'm surprised it doesn't have like 10 fingers or something. But
right, it's getting better.
Anyway, goodbye from the Willy Nilly Show. Toodles, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you here tomorrow.
You know it.
Take care, everybody.